If you know anything about Aussie gin or even gin in general, you've probably already come across Four Pillars and their signature rare dry expression. It's pretty much become the most popular Aussie gin going, but the crew over at Four Pillars have done a little experiment and they've come up with these two little twists on that original recipe called the Rarer Dry Gin and the Rarest Dry Gin. Here we have the rarest of the two. Have they managed to make their gin even better? Well, you're about to find out and we're starting right now. G'day folks, for those of you that are new here, my name's Tim and welcome to Tim and Tonic, where we discover the world's best gins and how to drink them. So first of all, I have to apologize for doing two Four Pillars gins in a row. We did the Bloody Shiraz last week. I never really intended for this to happen, but Four Pillars just literally released this expression in the last couple of weeks, and we had to just grab a bottle. I went online and I bought it straight away because I wanted to get this review up before you guys crack into your bottles and before it's sold out. I don't know if you can see it from over there, but check it out on the bottle. I actually have bottle number 463, so I wouldn't be surprised if we're talking a batch of like 500 odd bottles, which is a pretty crazy small amount for a distillery the size of Four Pillars. So I'm super stoked that I managed to grab one to share with you guys. But enough chatter, I bet you guys just want to know what these gins are all about. Like I said, there's two gins in this series. Well, actually there's three if you count the original rare dry gin, and all they've done is simply swapped out this citrus botanical from something different from a locally grown source. Everything else is exactly the same. So their original everyday rare dry gin, well, to be honest, not sure you can really call it rare anymore, but anyway, it's made with whole fresh oranges. Whereas the rarer gin, they've taken those oranges out and they put in yuzu, which is that really aromatic Japanese, originally citrus, which kind of to me tastes like a cross between a lemon and a mandarin. And for this one, the rarest dry gin, they've taken out those oranges and they've put in bergamots. Now, bergamot is really not as common in gin because it can be a little bit difficult to grow, and also in Australia, it's super expensive. If you're not familiar with what a bergamot is, it is a citrus. It's kind of similar to a lemon, but it has a really floral edge. For me, it's almost a cross between a lemon and some lavender. So most bergamots in the world actually go into producing extracts and essential oils and then go into either perfumes, but they also go into Earl Grey tea, which is what gives it that really distinctive taste. In the case of this rarest dry gin, they actually picked the bergamots a little bit underripe, so it's still a little bit green, to give it that more green, fresh, grassy edge. Hence why you can see on the label there's all this green detail, even though it's a little bit more like a lemon. So across all these three gins, all the other 9 botanicals are exactly the same. We're talking juniper, coriander seed, lemon myrtle, cardamom, cassia, star anise, pepperberry, lavender, angelica root, and finally there's a 10th botanical which changes depending on which one you're drinking, which is that citrus component. So my original viewers will know back in the early days of Tim and Tonic, I did check out the original rare dry gin. I'll leave a link in the comments below if you want to check it out after this review. Now if you've seen that review before, you will know that I do like the rare dry gin, but I don't think it's anything crazy special. Don't get me wrong, it is very, very nice here, and very personal opinion here, like, you know, it just doesn't have that unique X factor that I'm looking for in those pricier craft gins. So I'm very interested to get stuck into this one and see if it can change my mind. Maybe that change of citrus is gonna absolutely be a game changer for this gin. Who knows? Let's give it a crack and see what it's all about. So the rarest dry gin, let's give it a smell. Oh, okay, wow, that citrus is incredible. It's super pungent and super fresh. I almost get a little bit of menthol here too. Maybe that's coming from the cardamom and the bergamot combined, maybe a little bit from the juniper too, but that's a really, really nice start to the nose. I really also like the lavender here. You don't really get it so much in the original rare dry gin expression, but this combined with the bergamot, it just makes it come out and gives that floral dimension, which makes it super interesting. I have to say, even with just one botanical different to the original, this smells like a completely different gin. If the nose is anything to go by, I'm really looking forward to giving this one a taste. But before we get onto the tasting, I have to be honest, I'm a little bit disappointed because I didn't manage to get that yuzu one, the rarer dry gin. So do me a favor, hit the like button now so we can spread this video out. Maybe someone can let me know down in the comments what the rarer dry gin tastes like, that yuzu one tastes like, or even if you're feeling extra kind, maybe you want to send me a little sample. But we're talking the rarest and bergamots today, so let's give it a taste. Oh man, there's some really great flavors going on here. It's just such a nice sense of balance between juniper, citrus, and the spice is really much more punchy on the taste. It's absolutely amazing. It's a really, really nice gin, this one. Oh, everything just comes together as one in this gin. There's nothing dominating the other. I really love how that bergamot just interacts with the lavender to give it that floral edge as well. There's just so much complexity here and it's absolutely delicious. The spice just gives it a really nice backbone. I'm tasting a lot of that pepperberry. It's absolutely amazing. They've done such a good job with this one. But before I give my final thoughts, let's talk about how to mix this gin. First of all, this is a very drinkable gin, and now I don't really recommend it all too often on this channel because not all of you like me are drinking gin neat all the time as your kind of day job. But this one, out of all of them, if you're more into those kind of stronger flavors and you're keen to try it neat or on a little bit of ice, you could really give this one a go. After playing around with this one a little bit, I think in terms of mixer, you definitely don't need to overcomplicate things. It goes great with soda or light tonic or something classic, just really anything that lets the gin shine. And really, that citrus character is quite punchy. Once you've mixed it, it already tastes like you've added a citrus garnish, so there's no need to add any more citrus on top of that. I really enjoy it with a bay leaf, but if you don't have any of that, anything herbaceous works great, like rosemary or thyme is a really good option too. And for cocktails, I know what I'm about to say contradicts what I just told you for the gin and tonics, but hear me out here. I've said it on a few reviews, those gins with the really aromatic kind of citruses, if you do those kind of blank canvas cocktail bases, like your gin sours, French 75s, Tom Collins, etc., it really just helps to elevate those aromatic citruses and bring them out in a HD. So I guess now is the time when you want to hear my final thoughts on this gin before you either crack open your bottle or pull the trigger on buying one online. As always, first though, the hard and fast facts you need to know. We're talking 41.8% alcohol, it's a 700ml bottle, and this one cost me $75 Australian. This is basically exactly the same as that original rare dry gin. So you've got a limited edition with more expensive ingredients and no actual price increase. The price is exactly the same. And I don't know if you got it from the tasting, but I really do think that this is a massive step up from that original rare dry gin. It's way more unique, it's way more complex, it's just absolutely delicious, whether you have it on its own, in a mixed drink or a cocktail, you name it, this one is absolutely cracking. So I didn't want to, guys, but I absolutely love this gin. So what are you waiting for? In the meantime, click subscribe just up here so you don't miss out on any other new amazing gins coming out. And then while you're waiting for your bottle of rare dry gin to come, click through the playlist here and you can see all the other reviews I've already done. Cheers, guys. I'll see you next time.